How you doing, Rick?
Good, Megan. How about you?
Good.
Awesome.
We have a client that is hilarious, and
Mhm.
he's been catching up watching all of our YouTube videos, and he's like he's like quoting us when we're looking at houses. I think it's hilarious. Oh my gosh. I'm like, good, I'm so glad you're watching these videos, because if you want to know stuff, if you don't want to know things, then fine, but
Yeah.
I think it's great. So every week since the pandemic has started, it has been like some basically mind-blowing situation that's going on with
Right.
you name it. And right now we're like into spring here. Like,
I can't believe it.
this is our busiest time of year in Southern
Yeah.
California.
Mhm.
And we were really hoping we would have a hell of a lot more houses for sale right now, and
Mhm.
we don't. And
True.
what does that mean? It's like, well, people have refinanced, they have record low interest rates,
Mhm. Mhm.
they have the property taxes that they had when they bought the house. So like, people are sitting pretty. They are
Yeah.
not paying a lot of money monthly
Yeah.
for their homes.
No motivation.
No motivation to sell. And you think about it, by the time you pay a realtor to sell your house, and you pay your closing costs, and you pay to move and all this other
Mhm.
stuff, it might be worth it
Mhm.
just to stay and to remodel something,
Mhm.
which is something, of course, I'm not afraid to talk about with my clients. Sometimes you can,
Mhm.
sometimes you can't. So anyway, so here we are, we're in spring, we're in the busiest time of year, and there's not been an influx of properties for sale. A lot of schools went back in the classroom this week. Here in Anaheim, the elementary kids went back to school this week, and there's still not an influx of properties going on in the
Right.
market. It's like, we keep waiting for all
Yeah.
these triggers. What's going to make it happen? Well,
Uh-huh.
I don't know what's going to happen and when it's going to happen, but I do have some very good advice for people that are out looking right now. And this is really a hard conversation for me to have, because I am a very conservative spender. I don't have bills, I don't have a credit card, I don't spend money. I'm gonna
Mhm.
just take a U-Haul with me when I die. No, I'm just kidding. I don't like to spend money. I'm so cheap, Rick. So I like hate like spending other people's money like haphazardly. I take it like I am a guardian to their wealth, and I don't
Yeah,
want to just
right.
spend their money. I just feel really weird telling people to do things that don't like make mathematical sense to me.
Mhm.
So for
Mhm. Yep,
example,
I can relate.
yeah, when we're looking at writing an offer, typically we'll look at the other sales in the neighborhood. Well,
Yeah.
guess what? Who cares? Nobody cares anymore
Yeah,
about
they
the
don't
other stuff.
matter.
Yeah,
That's right.
so trying to figure out what to offer is like excruciating, because
Mhm.
a lot of agents don't counter all the offers. They just counter
Right.
the top offer or the top two.
Mhm.
So it's not an easy task to figure out how to even get noticed. So but what I figured out, because I have a lot of listings,
Yep.
and what I have figured out, and if you're watching, I have thought about how to explain this as simply as possible, because sometimes I really get in the weeds, but you might want to grab a pencil and a piece of paper. So Rick, can you be my audience and grab something to write with right now?
I can do that. I'll be right back. Hang on.
Okay. I did not tell Rick that he was going to have a pencil and a piece of paper. Apparently, Rick has nothing to write with at his desk, everybody. I don't go anywhere without this bad boy right here. It's called paper.
Well,
And
actually, listen, here's the deal. My kids are millennials, right?
oh,
And so I've got this iPad, which is
oh,
I'm doing the recording on the iPad. They're going, Dad, why do you have a notepad and pen? I go, because that's how I take notes. I go, no, you got it all wrong. Do it on your iPad. So anyway, now I got this app on my iPad. I take all my notes on my iPad. It's all organized now. I'm pretty proud of myself for that. So I don't have actually, yeah, right? So
I
I had to grab a
apologize.
notepad and a pen.
I'm such a weirdo that I have pens in jars
right.
with different colors
Right.
because I have some sparkle in my life. Anyway,
There you
so
go.
so here it
I
is,
got
right?
it.
You got a pencil, you got a piece of paper.
I do.
All
Uh-huh.
right, we'll write A, B, and C.
Got it.
So in my experience in the last few months and tracking of everything, there are 3 tiers of buyers: an A, a B, and a
Mhm.
C.
Got it.
So now for simplicity, let's use even numbers to work with, okay? So let's say I have 10 offers on a house. Okay, I'm
Mhm.
going to use a house that I recently sold. I'm going to leave out the address and the names to protect the innocent, okay?
Mhm.
But I'm going
Okay.
to say that the house was listed at, let's write it down, $699.
Got it.
Now I didn't want 550 people to come through the house. So
Mhm.
the last comp was like 680. So I listed it at 699.99 because I wanted pretty serious participants, right?
Mhm.
So even being 20,000 overpriced, but I was still kind of in, and this is all very relative. This is kind of the price range of Orange County now, right? Like
Mhm.
700 to 800 is kind of like your first time home
That's the
buyer.
sweet spot. Yeah,
I'm sorry to my kids,
really
and
is.
this is how things are going.
Yep.
So it is a sweet spot. So it's always something you could take in consideration, the price tiers, right? Like the different A, B, C, and what price that is. Is it a first time home buyer? Then you want to take into consideration how many other houses are for sale right now in that price range that are
Mhm.
similar. So
Mhm.
let's say, I'm going to use Fullerton as an example,
Okay.
and I'm going to explain this to you. So today is, what's the date today? The 13th,
It is.
April 13th. I'm going to use Fullerton because Fullerton is a very hot first time home buyer market. Because Fullerton, it's hip, it's cool, and they have really
Yep.
great public schools. Okay, so Fullerton, let's say 700 and under. You're a buyer, you're buying your first house, you want it to be a detached house. Let's not even put in how big or if you want air conditioning. Okay, there
Right.
are 6 houses for sale in Fullerton
Under 7.
under 700,000.
Wow.
Let me do one more filter. Let me make sure that
Mhm.
it doesn't have an HOA. Let's make sure it's really a single family detached house. So there's 6. There are 6
Gotcha.
houses for sale under 700,000 in the city of Fullerton. Okay, so let's see
So
here.
the question I have on that though, Megan, is if you go back to like whatever a normal market would look like, right? In a different market, how many homes would be in the market in that price range typically in that scenario,
Let's call
from
it
your
in the
experience?
first-time home buyer market. There'd probably be 50
Okay, in a normal market.
in a normal market. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yep, I'm with you.
Let's make it a 3 to a 4 bedroom because that's really what people are looking for. Okay,
Yep.
so there's 4. There's 4 houses for
Wow.
sale
Okay.
in Fullerton.
Okay.
Let me, for the hay of it here, let me look at Orange. There's
Mhm.
4 in Fullerton. There are 0 in
I was gonna
Orange.
say probably fewer in Orange. Yeah.
Mhm.
How
I
about
even,
Anaheim?
let me look at Anaheim.
Probably similar to Fullerton, I bet.
There's 14 in Anaheim.
Okay. All right.
Let's see. All right, so we're getting the gist of it here. Okay, so
Mhm.
if this is a normal buyer price range and there's only in 3 cities, there are only 20 houses for sale
Mhm.
that are 700,000 or less, then
Mhm.
that means there's about, 50 to 60 buyers per house, really. All right, so now let's split those buyers up into the A, B, and C.
Okay.
Now, most of these buyers, people are like, this market's going to crash, blah, blah, blah. Friends, I'm here to tell you, people, I'm not seeing any like,
No.
I'm seeing very few 5% down. I'm seeing mostly 10 to 20% down. People have money, they're putting it down. That's what I'm seeing. So let's take a look. So we have our ABC buyers. So let's just say we get 10 offers on one of these $700,000 houses.
Yep.
All right. So at 700,000, we're going to split these buyers up into our ABC. Now, most of them are going to come in at least 3 to 5% over the asking price.
Okay.
So that's going to be, if you've got 700, 3% is 21,000, right? And
so like probably 725 offers probably be the minimum, right?
Yeah,
roughly.
You're going to get a lot of 725 offers, exactly. So let's say out of the 10 offers, you're going to get 4 that are 725, okay? Now, there's going to be a middle group, and the middle group is going to bump that up. So out of $700,000, they're going to pay like 6% over. They're going to add $42,000 onto that. Okay, so now you're at
740, 745.
Yeah, 740, 745. Let's say, give and take a little bit on either end. Let's say that's another 4 offers come in at that. So you're gonna have 4 offers that are pretty reasonable. There's gonna be another 4 offers that are like super high. And then you're gonna have 2 of them that are left over out of the 10 that are gonna be in the C group. And the C group is gonna go 8 to 10% over. So in a $700,000 case scenario here, let's say times 9% over, that's $63,000 over. That is 763 on a $700,000 house. Now remember, I picked this house price at $699.9 because the comps were at like 680. So I figure, okay, most people are willing to pay around that price. So if it goes under contract for 763 and the comps are at, let's say 700 to 720, and you have an appraiser come in, the buyers are agreeing that if the house appraises for less than the sales price, that they're still going to pay the price that they agreed on.
Correct.
That's what they're agreeing to do. So it's very unfortunate right now for, like, I have a VA buyer that we know I have been looking for months, and they just raised their price that they could afford up quite a bit. And I said, let's not look any higher than that, because just because we could, like if you're approved to spend up to 750, we should only be looking at houses that are 700 and under at this point, because we're going to get jammed up in this and we're not going to have a chance in hell,
That's correct.
So my advice this week for buyers is that when you see a house and you love it, decide if you're an A, a B, or a C, and make your offer accordingly, because you might not get a counter offer. You might not get a second chance. And I don't like to tell you to spend your money haphazardly. Like, I am here to help you and I want to be intelligent about it. But unfortunately, this is the trend. This is what's happening. And if you don't want to participate with that, I completely respect it. And I totally get it, because, it's a lot to stomach. But just realize that if you're not going to be at least in the tier, B or C, that you're probably not going to get the house. Like, you have to get super aggressive. It's not even like 10 or 20,000 over anymore. I mean, it's a lot of money. Like, I made an offer this week. I made quite a few offers this week. I made an offer this weekend on a house in Fullerton that was a cute house, but it needed work. and it was in a good location, but it wasn't like, you know, up in the hills or anything. And
Right.
we offered 20,000 over the asking price. It was right around 7, and we didn't even get a counter. They got somebody that was in the tier C, and they just took it. You know, probably 760, 780. But we weren't
Yeah.
quite ready to do that.
I love that model. I love that model a lot. That's great. A great example, because I deal with the same stuff, you know, a lot of offers that we have. And I had one over the weekend, by the way, similar to this, different agent. And they made a good offer. And I was talking yesterday to a listing agent, and he said, Rick, I've got 10 offers. Sounds about right. He said 3 of those are at asking price. We're not even going to counter those 3.
Right.
10. So offering full price is not like an incentive anymore. He said we're gonna counter 3 as a 10, and that's it.
Right.
Done. So that's a perfect example of that. Spot on.
I deal with agents all the time that, you know, if they don't get a counter offer, they get really upset. But the thing of it is that, you know, it's just, this is just not the market to take any chances.
No.
If you really like a house, you're just gonna have to
just gotta go for it. Well, what I get oftentimes with buyers is, you know, when they get the wrong guidance, unfortunately, sometimes they'll say, well, let me present this and see what they're gonna say. And my answer is, I know what they're gonna say, and that's gonna be, they're gonna say nothing. They're not gonna get a counter. And they're like, well, at least I can get a counter. No, there's no obligation to counter you. There is no obligation whatsoever. And I think some buyers get that wrong sometimes. Well, let's see if we can negotiate. Let's see if they say. Well, you and I both have enough experience to know what they're going to say.
Right.
And what they're going to say is no response.
Exactly.
Sorry. Yeah.
I know.
And that's unfortunate.
I know. And I'm looking right now. Let me see.
Yeah. Good stuff. I like that. I like that model a lot.
I know. I'm trying to figure out how to explain it to people without them thinking I'm just going to throw all their money away. So
to recap, so go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
So the recap on that, so the A buyers are 3 to 5%, you said?
Yeah.
And the B buyers are 6 to 8.
Yeah.
And then the C buyers 8 to 10.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. That's a great model.
8 to 10. 3 to 6. Yeah, exactly. And like right now, I just pulled up how many houses between 700 and 750 in Anaheim, Fullerton, Yorba Linda, Orange. Let's add Placentia.
Okay.
Brea,
perfect. Yeah.
You know,
there you go. It's all North Orange County for the most part.
Right. With no HOA, that's between 700 and 750 that are detached houses. And I'll tell you right now, there are 6. There are 6.
Wow.
And here's the days on the market: 6, 4, 3, 4, 0, 7. Now let's look and see how many are coming soon. Have you heard of this coming soon stuff? Yeah, it's driving me up the wall. Coming soon. You know why? Because it's like, I mean, you can't always schedule an appointment to see it coming soon, even when it is going to come soon. Every house has got different rules about how you can schedule appointments. I told somebody this weekend, it's like completing levels of Jumanji. How am I going to get all of these appointments scheduled? You know, like Chris in office, like I swear he spends all like Thursday and Friday just like trying to get my schedule straight, so I'm not driving in circles all weekend. You know. Okay, so let's see. And then somebody will like want to change the schedule that Chris set up. It's like, oh my gosh, poor Chris. I have to talk him off the limb. Okay, so this one, I just picked coming soon, and there's only one. There's only one coming soon. All right, now let's look and see how many are under contract, active under contract or pending. There are 39.
Wow.
So how do you figure out, let's see how many have closed. And let's try for the last 60 days. So there's 6 for sale. There's 1 coming soon. There's 39 pending. In the last 60 days, there's been 77 that have closed in the last 2 months.
Wow.
How are we going to get 77 now? We only have 6 and 39.
Mm-hmm.
You see, this is a downward spiral of a trend here.
Yeah, well, that's a great kind of a example there, because you and I both do this really every day, all the time, and you know, it's hard to explain to home buyers. So I think showing it in this kind of a way makes sense, really makes sense. And you know, the easy answer for some buyers is, well, you know, I'll wait for the crash. Look, you and I have been dealing with this exact scenario for how long now? Not just the last 30 days, it's been at least the last year or longer, right? And given where the mortgage rates are, I think rates will stay pretty good. In fact, Jeremy Powell was speaking, I didn't watch the interview, it was on 60 Minutes Sunday night. He's going to keep the Fed rate discount at the same all year long, which is 0. By the way, the Fed discount does not really match what's going on in the long-term rates like mortgages. But the point of it is, we're going to stay in a fairly good rate environment for the next, gosh, hopefully next year or so, right? We're not going to go to a 4 and a 4.5% rate. That's just not going to happen. So rates are going to stay low. And then it just all makes sense. I mean, and we've talked before about what happens when the appraisal comes in low. I have that discussion every day of the week, it seems like. So I don't want buyers to be concerned about the impact of their payments or impact of their mortgage by bidding the higher price. And I had one over the weekend, a different example, different property, but on a 730 price, if the appraisal came in at like 705, there was 0 impact to the borrower's payment and down payment, the way we structured that loan. So you know, the misunderstanding is that if the appraisal comes in lower, it's $1 for $1 out of pocket, and it's not. So this is a great example of how this works and why buyers should make these moves, because the people that are in the A's for sure don't get a counter. The people in the B's, yeah, maybe not. The C's will get a counter, and typically the C will step up and buy the house because they've been down that path already before.
Exactly.
They know what it's going to take.
I think it takes some time to become a C, you know, and it's like, you know, we've been through a few recessions and all this kind of stuff, and so we definitely don't take this with a grain of salt. Like I said, I'm very responsible, very much feel like I'm the guardian of my clients' finances. I don't want to give them bad choices, bad decisions. You know, when we had the recession, I think I had one client that got foreclosed on, and that was also coupled with all kinds of other personal problems, you know, divorce and that sort of thing. So obviously it had nothing to do with that, but like that was a very, you know, it's like, oh, thank God none of my clients are in a situation. Now, here's another scenario. Let's say that you're a C and you go bananas and you pay the $763 for this place. Well, what did the Case and Schiller say? It said, or Case Schiller, it said that the home values are projected to go up, increase 9% this year, I think is what it said, right?
So it was close to 10%, right? So
in 1 year on the 763 house, times 9% of an increase in home value is it's like
$70,000.
Yeah, it's like $68,670. So, you know, I don't know. You know, I don't want people to spend their money frivolously, but ultimately, I'm sorry to tell you, if you're going to get a house, you got to be a C. You got to have no appraisal contingency, and you have to be able to afford it, and realize that it's going to be the difference between getting a house and not getting a house. And that's how the whole rest of this year is going to go hands down. I don't see, with 6 houses on the market in 4 major cities, 5 major cities that are first time home buyer price range, I don't see this changing anytime soon. You'd have to have like 50.
No, it's not going to change. Not going to change. So I was thinking about that as we're talking. I guess the question is, don't be an A.
Don't be an A if you want to be successful.
If you're gonna buy a house, don't be an A.
I
That's how
know.
that's gonna work, right?
I know. I have a lot of buyers that are in the 6 to 7 range, and it's like
Yeah,
I
I
feel
know.
so bad for them. But it's like I think you have to go buy a condo. You know, I'm sorry, but at
And
least you'll
condos are
have
just
it.
as hot. They're just as hot
I
of a
know it
market
is
as
just as
these.
hot, but it's
Yeah.
like again, if I'm looking for 650 house and I'm like never gonna find one, and every month it's getting more and more atrocious to get your hands on it. I had one this week that the house was listed for 650 and my clients wrote an offer for 675. We were in the B zone. We're wavering in the B zone. Well, some
Right.
damn C came up and offered 705.
Oh,
$55,000 over. Well, now this is going to be the new trend, the new high, the new low, whatever, for whatever's going to go on in that neighborhood. So it's like, ultimately, is it better to just buy a townhouse or a condo that you'll be happy in, and at least you'll have a place to live, you'll have the real estate, and at least you'll have your money in the market, in the real estate market. You'll have a hand in that,
Right.
Trying to have some of these really tough talks with some of these people that are in what is typically a very normal price range, that it's not going to happen this year if you don't adjust what you're doing,
No, it's great stuff. That is spot on right there. The whole thing.
I'm glad that you found that to be useful. Do you have anything else to add for this week?
No, I think it's awesome. I mean, that's a great model. I think every realtor should adopt that model.
Yeah.
When they're trying to price a house for an offer. Right.
Well,
they did that model.
Don't tell everybody though, because then
I know. We'll keep it our secret, right?
Another C. Come on, Rick.
Right. We only do B's and C's. We don't handle A's.
Man. I don't know. I know.
That's hard. It's hard.
I know. Like I said, I have a hard time just telling people, like, no rhyme or reason, just add another 30, 60, 90, 80, a lot of money. But ultimately, I think that once they get into their house and they're happy and it's affordable, and I think
that's the key, right?
Yeah.
And I had a realtor over the weekend trying to make an offer on a property, and she's like, "What should I offer?" And we're talking about it. She says, and I kid you not, she said, "Let me look at the comps and see what we're going to offer." And I finally said, "The comps don't matter. Don't look at the comps. They don't matter." Right. So, but you're right. I think I tell buyers sometimes it's hard as this process is, and I say this a lot to home buyers, as hard as this process is, and it's a scary process sometimes, right? It is. But I tell them, once you get into the house and you get settled in, this will all be a distant memory. You'll have your house, it'll be your home, it'll be a distant memory. But you got to get through this phase first. And if you follow the guidance, follow the process, and you trust that process, we'll get you there.
Right.
That's it. You just got to trust that process. Right.
All right, Rick. Well, I think we've given everybody enough information. We want everybody to have a successful real estate transaction and get into a home that they love and they can live in for many years and be happy campers and to live their best life. So if anybody has any questions, I think the most important question besides what to offer is how you're going to structure your loan, and they can always talk to you about that, because it's like, I don't know, everybody has different feelings about this, but I like to hold on to whatever cash that we have in the bank. So if it means I have to adjust my loan by 10, 20, 30,000 or something, and at a 3.5% interest rate is going to be peanuts versus me having to come out with an extra 30 grand out of my pocket. You know what I mean? Especially if there's changes I want to make to the house. So anyway, thanks for your time, Rick. You're awesome.
Awesome. Good stuff. Thank you, Meg.
Talk to you soon.
All right. See you soon. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.